questions.
Have you ever won a game before with 25 turnovers?
I don't know. Hell of a first question. I'll take a win, and then we'll try to fix the turnovers.
John, for those of us who haven't seen your team this year, the defense today was very strong. What did you do today that you haven't been doing?
I'm not really sure. I thought the guys, particularly in the first half, we did a good job of protecting the three-point line. I don't think they had any threes in the first half, and actually looking at the stat sheet, I guess we did a good job in the second half of protecting the three-point line. Also, I felt like a lot more than three that they hit in the second half, and so that's hard to do against them because of their spacing and because they have so many guys that can penetrate that you have to help on situations that they kick it out to their shooters. But we just wanted to see if we can limit their threes, and we were fortunate that the ball didn't go in for them.
What was your strategy against Dante Cunningham? Was that part of the idea, if the ball can't go inside to him, they can't kick that out and get easier three-point opportunities?
Well, the strategy against him, it's hard to come up with a strategy to stop Dante because he's such a worker. He works as hard as any player in this league. And so you can devise whatever strategy you want. He's just going to will his way and has willed his way through situations. We just wanted to make sure that on our end, that I think that Greg and Julian, a few possessions, it might have been Henry also, and even when we had some switches, our smaller guys did a good job of keeping him active and keeping him working. And he works so hard, he wears you down. Where, let's say the possession lasts 27 seconds, if you don't work for all 27 seconds that you're in the half court, he's going to get a wide open layup or easy shot in the last 6. And so just staying focused on working with him, matching his work ethic was something we tried to do.
You've had a couple games where leads have kind of evaporated in the final minutes and a potential victory has gotten away. Could you talk about the way your players handled the last 2-3 minutes, and do you think that represents any sort of turning a corner?
I hope so. Yes, it represents a turning of the corner. And actually, I think the key point of this game was probably like the 7-minute mark, where we thought about regressing, and then our guys held on, and I thought we did a pretty good job. I think that Austin Freeman got some very big rebounds, which we haven't been doing. I feel like there were 3 key possessions where we had to get a stop where he came up with a rebound. And then at the defensive end, our guys' communication was good. Even the baskets they got, I think, were tough shots or foul shots. And so I think hopefully, as I said, you go through what we've gone through, and hopefully you learn. And I think today, even when there was a bad possession, it didn't linger as long as it has in the past. It didn't carry over 2-3 plays down the road.
Can you talk about your defense with Scotty Brown? He committed 6 turnovers today, especially there were a couple of steals you got off of him in like the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game.
Scotty's a good player. Scotty's a terrific player. I thought that Chris, who was on him most of the night, and they know each other, and they know what each other's going to do. But I just think that this is a very similar comment to what I said about Dante. I think Chris matched his intensity, and as a team, as a group, we were cognizant of their flow. And so Scotty turned the ball over. He had a bad game. We were extremely fortunate.
Can you talk about, a minute ago you talked about that one stretch at the 7-minute mark, and you had a couple quick turnovers, they get a couple of baskets. That coincided with Chris being out of the game. He immediately sent back in. Things seemed to calm down. Just talk about the way he handled their press, their pressure.
Well, he's going to sleep well tonight. And because of following up with the previous question, chasing Scotty around all night, running off those screens that Dante set, it's hard. It's hard work. Now, it's work that he didn't do alone. His teammates supported and helped, but and I'm not sure. I can't picture that stretch specifically in my head, but I just think in general we started to get a little frazzled, then we calmed down.
talk about the final play, too. I mean, in any other game, that would be sort of routine, but in this game, with 45 turnovers, that last 3.5 seconds is pretty big. Was that a set play with them to run off that screen so he could run the clock in?
Oh, down. Yes. Thank you, Christopher. We thought they fouled. He just got away from him. He was able to get down the court.
For the players?
How good it feels just to get a win.
Yeah, it feels real good, especially on the road in a hostile environment. And wins. We need wins. And that was a big win for us. And that it was nice the way we won and the way we closed that game out. Because in the past we've given up games like that, and that's just how it is. And we closed it out today, and that was, I think, big for us.
Where are you in terms of going through a full Big East schedule for the first time? What do you think is most developed for you over this period of time? What do you see as the biggest thing you still got to work on?
I think what I have to work on the most is just managing the game, understanding when to get shots for my teammates, when to get shots for us, when I need to be in a row of leading or whatever I have to do, just in ways of helping us win. Because, last year we had a point guard that was here for 4 years, and he'd been through the ups and downs, and this is my first time. So, I think I'm just taking it one game at a time and just trying to learn from every experience.
DaJuan, your day had some real highs and I imagine frustrations with the turnovers. On balance, how do you feel about the way you ended up in the team with this victory?
I'm very, very excited that we won. So, my performance, good or bad, I think it doesn't matter at this point. If I would have scored 0 and had 0 turnovers, I think I would be very happy still. So, I'm very glad that we came out and won.
Coach, there's a lot of talk about the team in terms of its NCAA profile. Do you think, as of today, that this is an NCAA tournament team, and do you have a sense of sort of what you think it would take?
Honestly, and the guys that cover us follow us know, I haven't looked at that yet. I think that, and I probably need to start looking at that. But maybe not, because we just have to win our games. We just have to win our games. I don't know if any, and I don't know this to be a fact or not, but I feel like we played the toughest schedule in the country. I mean, there are 9 top 10 teams we've played. But 9 games against top 10 teams is probably a better way to put it.
The country, so right out there.
And, I think at the end of the day, how many teams you invited to the tournament?
65.
We're going to be one of the best 65 teams, in spite of what's happened last month. There's no doubt about that. But the committee, they know their job better than I know their job. Trust them.
Coach, when you look at the Big East records of these two teams, there's a big gulf. That it suggests a bigger gulf than what we saw in terms of play today. Is that to you kind of just a bitter reality? Is that the way it is in the Big East, or?
All of the above. I mean, it is reality. It's a function of factor of how we played the last month or so. But that being said, I said at the beginning of the year that you're going to look at teams at the top of the league and teams in the middle league and teams at the bottom of the league, and at the end of the day, regardless of what the records are, there's going to be a magnification of small differences. And I think that is accurate. They've won games and we haven't won games. Where there's a gulf, to use your word, between where they stand and where we stand if you look at the pieces of paper, but I don't necessarily think there is between us and any team in our league when we walk on the court.
Any other questions?